Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and I'm just plain living here.
Good morning, I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
And we're just so proud to be here
We
because
are.
I thought we were going to have snow up to our eyeballs, but not quite.
It's chilly outside.
A bit
It's rather chilly. Yes.
Baby, it's cold
Don't be singing that. It's. I think it's controversial. And somebody else just cut it. John Legend and I forget her name. Country singer.
Do you really think I care that it's controversial?
I know you don't care.
You know better than
Did they
that.
change some words? Or?
They changed some words, and I heard it, and I thought, well, I don't know why everybody's so upset about that. They kind of changed it to, it's a little more to the point about what was going on there.
Yeah.
But that's
But
the
so
way
what?
that's the way things are these days, you know.
I know.
You know, so it was just it's.
Were they trying to make it politically correct? Was that the point?
No,
Or?
no,
Oh,
not at
okay.
all. Not at all.
All right.
good for
I
them.
haven't heard it,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Right.
Good for them, you know. It's the voice of the few controlling the actions of the many.
It's sad, isn't it?
Sure
Well,
is
I
sad.
was always amazed, and again, there'll be somebody out there who don't like our opinion
Oh,
on that.
that's okay. That's why we live in this country. We can say whatever we want to. If you don't like it,
couldn't
that's
believe,
okay.
and we probably had this discussion. We had this discussion once before, and I think Dean Martin recorded that song somewhere back in the 50s, wasn't
At
it?
least.
Yeah, or the
at
late
least,
40s.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought anything about that until
Well, I
recently.
can't stay, but baby,
Yeah.
it's cold outside.
Yeah.
I've got to go away, but baby, it's cold.
Yeah, but basically,
What could be wrong with it?
Basically, they contend that it was sexist, that he was trying to take advantage of the lady that he was with. And,
Oh, for gosh sake.
You know,
Give me a
Because it
break.
was snowing.
yeah.
So what? I mean, you know, that is just, to me, that's all mine.
I mean, we've heard it.
Yeah.
We've heard it for 50, 60 years.
Right.
Nobody ever thought anything
Nobody
Never
about
thought
cared
it
anything about it.
until last year or the year before. so.
One thing that I stand by completely is you cannot legislate history.
I
It's
know.
already
It's
done.
done. It's
It's
finished.
happened. You can't legislate history.
I know.
So why try? Why
Why
continue
keep
to
trying,
try?
Yeah.
You know, so.
But anyway,
It was Veterans Day yesterday. Let's get to something important.
Right.
Not that wasn't important, but the fact that it was Veterans Day yesterday is very
Well,
important.
John, it's not like we rehearsed this or anything.
No, we never
We've
rehearsed
never
it.
rehearsed it.
It wouldn't be fun if we did that.
Right.
I loved what the Garden Club did.
Yeah, I did too.
I think that is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
The walkway, it is just phenomenal. And they'll open it up again for next year because there's
Right.
a lot of empty places
Right.
that they can add new bricks. And they'll be doing this again next
And if
Veterans
you're
Day.
not familiar with what that is, the Garden Club has put in a memorial along with the American Legion downtown at the Caboose Park, representing the military veterans, and there are their monuments there, and then they sold bricks to fill the walkway from the caboose down to the memorial with people where you could buy one for your veteran, deceased or alive, either one,
yeah.
Right.
and put in that walkway, which is
And they
which
still
is
have
very
some,
nice.
they still have some more slots available.
Yeah, they're going to
200 or
be.
300.
They're going to open them up and sell those
Right.
all
Yeah.
through the year.
Right.
So it's a
great.
very, very, very nice thing, and it's really kind of cool because that little, we're doing a good job. And Tiffany Clutter's here today with Manchester Parks and Rec, but we're doing a really good job in Tullahoma and in Coffee County as well, as in designating areas for parks and for rest and for somewhere where you can go and learn a little history and sit and relax and think about stuff. And so and we're working on another park over around Davison Street right now, I believe.
And
I
what
forget
would that
exactly
be?
where that park is, but it's going to be a walking open area park.
Nice.
And so, it's just good to have places where you can get on a greenway and walk, and all of a sudden you're in a very nice relaxed place where you can sit down and read or think or whatever you want to do. And there'll be historical plaques and a lot of these things explaining stuff that went on. And I just think it's wonderful.
I love that they have soldiers or military veterans from all the way back Civil War before, whatever you wanted to
I think
buy.
that's the criteria in that particular park. If you served in any conflict, at any time,
you can be in
you're
that.
eligible to be in that.
Well, and that's one of the things that we've talked about before, but we also talked about yesterday. After the event at the Civic Center, we went and had the dedication of that. Then the American Legion had our celebration at our downtown Legion.
Fed
all of them, and we want to thank Joe Keller for that. Joe Keller has provided the food to feed all those veterans for several years, and Joe doesn't want to be anything said about it, but Joe, we can't help it, buddy. You did it, and we're proud of you for it, and we thank you for it.
Right.
But because of recent legislation, a lot of veterans who served and went and fought were not allowed to become part of the American Legion because of dates. And
you had to have served at
a certain date, and the same guy
at a time when the nation was at war.
At war, but some of those dates where they went down to South America and fought all these other battles, those people couldn't join, so that was all changed
That's great.
now, and that opens up membership to 4.5 million veterans that couldn't be served because of they happened to serve during the wrong time period.
If you served, you served.
You served.
Right.
And so that's happening right now, and we're really pleased about that as well. So. But speaking about Veterans Day, I've written a lot of stuff about Veterans Day, and I was involved in that yesterday. And I woke up yesterday morning and I thought, what am I going to do? And I started thinking about veterans and thinking about what I just said. You're a veteran, you're a veteran.
Right.
And then I thought, well, we're all veterans of something.
Of something.
So
True.
This is yesterday's piece. I'm a veteran of life, allowing me to be vetted in many disciplines, veteran of an above average public education, a hobbled veteran of numerous sporting teams, veteran of several self-serving religious dogmas, and a couple that actually understood the mission, veteran of many nonprofit organization involvements, and several business ventures that turned out to be nonprofit. A veteran creative where money doesn't equal success. Veteran of interaction with 2 families and a long marriage. Enough said there. I am a veteran of many things, and proudly, I am a veteran of the Tennessee Army National Guard. That puts me in a group of selfless individuals who have served our country, sacrificing life and limb to secure the freedom that allows us to be veterans of whatever we choose in America. I'm proud to be a veteran and thank my brothers and sisters who have served. Happy Veterans Day.
Very nice, John.
So, you're all veterans of something.
And any military wife and family, they're veterans too, because they go through all kinds of hell when their husbands are at war or whatever.
Oh, and that's something else that this new law changed is about the auxiliary. The word wife has been used. The wife of a veteran can be a member of the auxiliary.
Should be now wife or husband?
No, now it says spouse.
Spouse. Oh, okay.
Because we have so many women who are serving in the military whose husbands are not serving in the military.
So they just changed that one word.
And those guys couldn't be part of the auxiliary and support their wife in the military because of the word wife versus spouse. So
we don't know how significant that will be. It could bring a lot of men into that organization.
And I was watching the Today Show the other day, and there was a little thing about how many house husbands there are now. And you watch a lot of commercials, you see a lot of when they're coming home for supper, it's the women coming home from work, and the guys in the kitchen. And there's a huge amount of that going on in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be, because
sure.
It should be an equal thing. Whoever's there to do the job needs to do the job.
That's right.
The lawn needs mowing and nobody's there but me, then I'm going to mow it, etc. You know, the same
Sure.
thing happens in the kitchen. So I've always lived that way.
All I can say is that my house would be in real trouble if I'm the one doing the cooking.
But I always love it when I'm going the back way to the interstate across the lake, and I see a guy pulling his bass boat headed to the lake, and his wife's on a riding mower mowing the grass. I'm sure she's not real happy about that.
Well, that's her problem. Not every wife does that.
No, they don't.
There's some that jerk that
When's the
fishing pole
better
out
and
of
for
his
better
hand
or
and bring
worse
home.
going to start?
Right.
I got fired from mowing the yard in my
Did you
house.
get fired? Were you that bad?
Did. Well, no, I don't mind it. It was the problem that Nancy wants it done
A certain way.
a certain time more than anything
okay.
else. It wasn't that I did a bad job. And in my life, that don't work that way.
It's just when you got time, right?
Yeah, when you can get around to it. So finally she decided we'd both be better off if
you
she
got
just
somebody to
she
do
just
it.
hired somebody to do that. So.
Sometimes that works best.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Tullahoma Wildcats got beat last Friday night.
But they were competitive.
They were competitive. The other team played the best game. Their coach said the quarterback for that team played a better game Friday night than all of the games he played all year long.
Wow.
So, and that happens
Complimentary,
from
yeah.
time to time, and we got beat by a better team that night. But the University of Tennessee won a football
They
game.
did very
Sure
close, 17-13 against Kentucky.
Titans won a football
Titans
game.
won a football game. So,
Vanderbilt got beat to death.
yeah. Would they lose?
Bless their soul.
56 nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Something like that.
But, hey, that's the way it goes.
That's
Yeah.
the way it goes.
Yeah, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down.
That's right.
We went 2 years at
Didn't win a thing.
Tullahoma High School. Didn't win
a thing.
Didn't win a
But
game.
now we're
and then,
back on top,
yeah,
back up there,
exactly.
doing a good job. We want to thank all of our sponsors. We the football show has specific sponsors, but we want to thank all of the sponsors who've helped us be on the air for 27 years, right here in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and our surrounding towns, and our 6 counties that we go to. If it wasn't for the sponsors, we don't get any grant money.
Right.
Nobody's cutting us a big check. We don't get a government check. We have to go out and sell sponsorships.
So if you want to buy something out there,
Yeah, if you want to be a sponsor, we can take you to 6 counties, probably 40+ thousand households and businesses. We're cheap, but we're good.
so let's say we're
cheap.
inexpensive.
No, we're
No,
cheap.
we're not cheap.
We're compared to other stuff, we are cheap, but we're good. That's all that needs to be said. Go see our sponsors. Spend some money while you're in there. We'll be right back in a moment with today's show.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now from the Manchester Recreation Department, Tiffany Clutter, who is famous in her own right, and most of you Manchester folks probably remember her from WMSR Radio, but she's now changed careers, and your activities director, is that what you said?
Activities coordinator for the City of Manchester Recreation Department.
Okay.
Having a lot of fun.
We determined that, while we were off camera there that she's a professional partier and plans events and that kind of thing, and that's so it's got to be a fun thing.
Well, in my role with the Recreation Department, I do get to plan some really fun events. We have a lot of fun senior activities that I get to take part in. We have some amazing family nights where we open up the Recreation Department for free to the community once a month. And then with holidays and that type of thing, I get to plan some very fun things, like the Manchester City Christmas Parade.
All right, yes.
Which is coming right up, and we're excited about it.
You're pretty familiar with that Manchester Christmas Parade, I imagine, because didn't you guys carry that on the air? You talked about
well, we have had someone from Thunder Radio, back when I was with Thunder Radio, calling the parade, announcing the parade, that type of thing, for years and years and years and years. And there were times where we did it live on the air, certainly with pictures and news articles and interviews and that type of thing over the years, yes.
Right. All right, so I guess you're probably in the process of getting that kicked off, are you not?
Well, we are. I'm very excited, and I want to invite, if you hear my voice, that means you are invited to the City of Manchester Christmas Parade. It is Saturday, November the 30th. The parade starts at 6:30. Prior to the parade, on the square in Manchester, we will have free entertainment for folks. We've got the Coffee County Central High School Women's Chorale will be performing. First Baptist Church, under the directorship of Todd Green, they will have a performance. And I have some notes here so that I don't forget anyone. Duck River Dance will have a performance, I think a portion probably of their Nutcracker, which is coming up for them. That's under the direction of Danelle Afflerbaugh, as well as our Manchester Christmas Rotary Choir will be doing a portion of that entertainment on the square prior to the parade. So the entertainment takes place from 5 until 6:30 p.m. on that Saturday, November the 30th. And it's not too late to get a float in our parade. Are you going to do a float?
Well, actually, we're filming these, so I'll probably be working.
Oh,
but,
very good.
But,
so folks will get to see it if you can't come out in person, certainly.
Yeah, actually, I think the last few years, Rob Clutter was, we just took his audio.
The audio, well,
his audio
there you go.
And put it with our picture, and it's kind of a partnership thing.
Well, this year we certainly have a commitment from Josh Peterson with Thunder Radio, and he's going to be there, and he's going to be helping out with some of that.
Right.
So I'm certain all of the folks will be mingling there together.
Absolutely.
Our theme for this year's parade is Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, and what that means is we are expecting and have accepted the applications for Christmas song themed floats. I will give you a hint that the city's official float is Blue Christmas.
Okay.
And I'm just a little bit nervous about the city float. It is my responsibility to make sure that it is decorated and lit. And it is a 40-foot float.
Oh my goodness.
That is ginormous.
Yeah.
When I saw it, it nearly bowled me over. Oh my gosh, what are we going to put on this? But we have since, we've got a theme, and we're cooking with it, and we've got some great ideas that we're going to put on that float.
I suspect that Tiffany loves a challenge.
Well, I'm not going to lie, it kept me up.
Yeah.
I saw the float, and that night I could not sleep. I just had to cook it and cook it and cook it, and come up with a concept to present to our director, Bonnie Gamble, and we came to an agreement and an understanding on how we're going to move forward, and she's been really wonderful and very supportive as I'm new in this role. And I have actually, though, in my prior life, decorated some floats before for different organizations when I lived in another state and worked for other organizations. Never a float this big.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's ginormous. So we hope to have your eyes on it, certainly, and ears on it.
Right.
As I think we'll have a lot of music coming off the floats.
It seems to me that the scope of this whole Christmas parade thing has expanded tremendously in the last.
I think it has in the past few years. It's bigger and bigger.
Curricular stuff outside of just the parade.
Well, and one of the extra things that we do have in the City of Manchester on the square is an official City of Manchester Christmas tree. And you can be a part of the lighting. The official lighting of that tree takes place just after the Christmas parade. It'll happen at 7:30 on the square in Manchester. We will light that tree, and we're pretty excited about it.
The 30th, that's a Friday night?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday night.
Saturday at 6:30 is the parade. The free entertainment's an hour and a half before that. The lighting on the Christmas tree is at 7:30. And I don't want to forget to mention that our Grand Marshal for the Christmas parade for the City of Manchester is Dr. Prater Powell.
Oh.
And he's a Kiwanian. He serves on the city school board. He has been city school director. He has been a servant to our community so very well.
I think that's a great choice.
I love that choice.
Yeah,
well, we are. I'm currently checking out his fellow Kiwanians to see if they'll help be judges for the floats, because there are prizes for floats. The City of Manchester float is not eligible to win a prize, so no worries about that. But everybody else certainly is eligible as judged by our impartial judges.
Okay.
So we are so excited about the parade. Can I mention the sponsors? Make this
absolutely.
The very fine sponsors. We could not make the parade happen without the folks in our community that help us out. Love Lady Auto Parts is your local CarQuest affiliate. Kasai, North America, Great Lakes Cheese, and People's Bank and Trust. And we have some additional sponsors that help us out. Al White Motors, First National Bank, Guess Insurance, Birch and Lockhart Attorneys at Law, and Sane Construction. Thank you so much to all of those folks who've helped us with the parade this year. We certainly couldn't do it without your help.
And November the 30th is probably the Manchester Parade is probably going to be one of the first ones, I'd say.
I think it is.
A week or so later. But,
and it's a great way to start that Christmas season. So we're kind of excited to be first.
I bet you are. You know, and I would imagine that parade that in Manchester, as well as Tullahoma, you're encouraging people to shop local and shop with your local merchants there. And
Absolutely.
Those Christmas parades kind of get that started.
Well, we've got to keep our money in this county.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we spend our money in this county, it stays in this county.
Yes, it does.
So I think we all have a part to play in that.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
So you got a vested interest there. Okay, that's coming up November 30th. And Tiffany, I know you're excited about that. This is your first one.
I am. And if you want to find out more about the Christmas parade, we are accepting float entries up through November the 22nd. You can find those applications at the city website, cityofmanchestertn.com. Those applications are there. You simply print it off and get it turned in to the Manchester Recreation Department. We would love to have as many people participate with the float as possible. I love seeing the kids on the floats and the church groups, and it's just going to be so much fun.
Okay.
We hope to have you.
Yeah. But by the way, what does it cost to enter?
It is free. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mention that. It doesn't cost a thing. We are actually asking our float entries and anyone that comes to the square that night to bring non-perishable food items. We're doing a collection for 2 of our local food charities, the Good Samaritan as well as the Storehouse Food Pantry. So we're asking floats to that night. We'll have collection sites on the square in Manchester for those non-perishable food items because certainly this is the season of giving and we appreciate the generosity of everyone in our community. So it's no cost to have a float in the parade, but we're asking you to come on out and do your part and bring some non-perishable food items.
All right.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Okay.
I would have forgotten.
I'm so glad you came down to tell us about that.
Well, you're so kind to have us.
I love her enthusiasm about all this kind of thing. She's going to be a great success over there.
You're
I guarantee
so kind.
Tiffany, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Much.
Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living right after these messages.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No 2 visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And as most of you know, there were celebrations all over the county to honor our veterans yesterday. And the South Jackson Civic Center held, or rather the city of Tullahoma, held a celebration of veterans at the South Jackson Civic Center. The keynote speaker for that was Colonel Garrity, who is the commander of Arnold Engineering Development Center, and he's relatively new to our committee. He gave a great speech yesterday. We want to bring you a portion of that right now.
I can scarcely conjure the words powerful enough to honor the men and women who have served our great nation. So I will open with borrowed lines from a poet, Emerson, who wrote so eloquently more than 150 years ago, a poem entitled A Nation's Strength. What makes a nation's pillars high and its foundations strong? What makes it mighty to defy the foes that round it throng? It is not gold. Its kingdoms grand go down in battle shocked. Its shafts are laid on sinking sand, not on abiding rock. Is it the sword? Ask the red dust of empires passed away. The blood has turned their stones to rust, their glory to decay. And is it pride? Ah, that bright crown has seemed to nations sweet, but God has struck its luster down. in ashes at his feet. Not gold, but only men can make a people great and strong. Men who for truth and honor's sake stand fast and suffer long. Brave men who work while others sleep, who dare while others fly. They build the nation's pillars deep and lift them to the sky. Of course, as the daughters of the American Revolution helped to point out this morning, Mr. Emerson got it only halfway. Brave men and women create the nation's strength, and none more so than our great American veterans. We set aside work today to honor those who have served, and Veterans Day this year happens to fall on some important anniversaries relevant to military service and sacrifice. Specifically, 30 years, 75 years, and 100 years. 30 years ago this weekend, the Berlin Wall fell, marking the end of the Cold War. This anniversary of the end of the Cold War highlights how the United States prevails in strategic competition when our nation invests in its armed forces. After decades of investment in the mid-1900s, a technologically superior force emerged, and our deliberate, patient preparation as a nation led our Soviet adversary to retreat, even dissolve without the globally destructive fight that people feared. 75 years ago, General of the Air Force, Hap Arnold, while still engaged in World War II, envisioned an Air Force second to none, and wrote a letter to Dr. Theodore von Karman that began to pave the path to the establishment of what is now Arnold Engineering and Development Complex. Now, like it was during World War II and the Cold War, our nation focuses again on great power competition with near-peer adversaries. If we do it just right, with the help of this very community here today, the next few decades of investment in deliberate preparation will once again yield a technologically superior force that will compel our powerful adversaries to cooperate instead of giving fight. And that's exactly what the men and women who work at APDC are doing today, and I am grateful for them. They work daily to prove the superiority of those systems that our young warriors may have to fight with in the future. God willing, they will do it so well that our enemies will choose not to fight. But history shows that sometimes the noble fight presents itself, and the best among us volunteer to serve. That brings me to the third and final anniversary that I want to highlight today, 100 years. The year 2019 has delivered the blessings of numerous 100-year anniversaries, and I feel compelled to mention 3. First, 100 years ago today was Armistice Day to end World War I and begin this tradition that we call Veterans Day. Second, I'll mention the anniversary of an institution, and third, the centennial birthday of 3 individual veterans in our community. 100 years ago this weekend, the American Legion was chartered and incorporated by Congress. This great American institution, the nation's largest wartime veteran service organization, is devoted to mutual helpfulness, and its members continue to serve their community after their military service has ended. We're blessed with numerous service organizations and veterans organizations present today in addition to the American Legion. Among them are members of every armed service, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Marine Corps League, the Daughters of the American Revolution, Disabled American Veterans, the National Guard, and the Boy Scouts of America, another centenarian institution. 100 years old is a respectable age for an institution. But for a person, it's an age that represents nearly infinite wisdom. While our youth today scroll tirelessly through Instagram or Twitter, hungry for the news of the second. These centenarians have seen the rise and fall of empires played out over the scroll of decades. We are fortunate to have among us in our community numerous centenarian veterans. World War II and Korean War veterans Tommy Gwynn, James Fuqua, and Dave Lovemore each celebrated their 100th birthday this year. In their youth, they risked their lives to defend the free world from tyranny. Lieutenant Gwynn, for example, was part of the 7th wave of troops who invaded the Germans on the coast of Normandy. He joined the Army in 1940 after telling his friends he would flip a coin. Heads he enlists, tails he doesn't. He happened to flip what was called a bullhead coin. Both sides were heads. However, when he went to enlist, he was told the Army didn't need him. Nonetheless, he made them write down his name, add the word volunteer next to it. They got back to him a year later to take him up on his offer. Like many of his brothers in arms, he cites scripture when asked about his service. John 15, verse 13 says, "There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends." How close he came to laying down his life for us, as he was wounded at least 24 times and was awarded a dozen Purple Hearts. Happy birthday to these distinguished centenarian veterans, and thank you for your service. So we celebrate special milestones this Veterans Day weekend 2019. 30 years since the fall of the Berlin Wall, 75 years since Hap Arnold envisioned AEDC, and 100 years since the birth of some of the most distinguished veterans. In closing today, we celebrate veterans in their spirit of sacrifice and service. It is men and women like Lieutenant Gwynn who put themselves aside in service to others, who make the nation great and strong. Like Emerson's poem, got half right. Not gold, but only men can make a people great and strong. Men who, for truth and honor's sake, stand fast and suffer long. Brave men who work while others sleep, who dare while others fly. They build the nation's pillars deep and lift them to the sky. God bless the men and women who lift our nation's pillars to the sky. God bless our veterans, and God bless the United States of America.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mane. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with a material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm excited this morning. It's so funny how things happen. We just played the 4-H commercial, and we have a group of 4-H people here this morning. Melissa Matthews is here, and you're the head of the county.
I'm one of the 4-H agents. There's two of us.
4-H agents.
So,
okay,
yeah.
in Coffee County.
I'm not the boss, but yeah. Here in Coffee County.
Well, you're boss right now, as far as I'm concerned. Every time I see you, you're working hard.
Well,
so that means you're boss to me.
Well, thank you.
But you have 3 lovely young people with us here today, and you're going to introduce them, and then tell us exactly. You're getting ready to go to a national competition.
We are. We're so excited. Yeah.
So give us a little insight on what's going on.
Okay. Well, can I introduce them first?
Sure.
So right next to me, this is Nicholas Dunavant, and then I have Melanie McKelvey, Ren Lawson, and we have a 4th team member that's not with us today. She had to go to mid-state competition. Her name's Kaylee Shores. So we are a 4-person team, and this is the regional winning first place consumer decision making team. We went on to participate in a state competition where we placed 2nd, and it was really interesting how it all happened because we went home 2nd place winners thinking that that was it. We were proud of ourselves for placing that well, but we didn't think there would be an opportunity for another competition. And a few days passed, and I got an email that said, since you placed 2nd in consumer decision making, your team is invited to participate in the National Family and Consumer Sciences Quiz Bowl. So we still get to go and participate in a national competition.
Now explain, because I was kind of confused about consumerism here. Explain to us, or have one of these lovely young people explain to us what exactly your task is in doing what you do, that you came in 2nd place in.
Okay.
And then we can talk about the Quiz Bowl or whatever else it is. Okay.
So every year we're given certain sets of about 5 items that we need to study. This year it was bicycles, healthy snacks, wearable technology, active wear, and place settings. And backpacks. So that's 6. And we had to practice, we had to look over all of these different items, find out what sort of materials should you look for in each, how many different scenarios can you have for each one. So when you get to the competition, you're given a scenario with a piece of paper. It describes a person, what they need. So with a backpack, they're looking for it. Maybe they're going to college. They need a budget, but they need one with a certain amount of pockets. And so you have to go through, you have 4 different options of each product. And there's descriptions of it next to it. So you have to go through and evaluate each backpack and be able to say, this one is the best, this is the 2nd best, this is the 3rd, and then this is the worst for this particular scenario. And you have to rank those, and then you have to go in to a judge and be able to explain to them orally, this is why I chose to put them in this order. And you have to do that for each section.
Folks, 4-H isn't about pigs and chickens and cows singly anymore. These young people are investigating products that you and I and other young people as well, search to buy. And I just think that's incredible, and it's sort of like maybe a debate team in a way, isn't it?
Sometimes it feels like that. And also there's another part of the competition called the groupthink, where, because for the majority of the competition, with the rankings and the oral reasoning, we're all doing it individually. But then we have the groupthink, where as a team, we all have to go into a room and we're given a category. So this year, our category was activewear, and a scenario, and we have to come up with a solution based on what the people in the scenario need.
And the products presented in front of you.
But a lot of that particular area of the competition isn't as much about how you rank it, but more of how you work together.
Right. Yeah.
Do you give each other chances to talk? How much is someone always leading it and someone else is always not saying anything, or are you all working on the same level to get it done together?
Right, to be a real team.
Yes.
Yeah. So they didn't let you talk yet.
It's something we're still working on.
So do you want to talk about the oral reasons component?
So the oral reasons, so like Rin said, you'll be given a scenario and you'll have to rank those items based on what's best for that person in that scenario. And so then you'll be taken to a set of judges and you'll have to really talk about why the first placed item is the best and compare those items between like the first item and the second item, and then the second item and the third item. And then you'll compare the second item and the last item. And yeah.
And there's a kind of outline we have for the oral reasoning. Generally we open it with, I rank this class of items, and then they're all numbered, so we'll say like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have at the top of this class, I ranked blank because, whatever criteria you felt made it best. And then you'll have in the top pair, and then in the middle pair, and in the bottom pair, and then at the bottom. So you're comparing them all to one another in some way.
So you're orally defending why you placed them the way you did.
Right. And how long a period of time do you have with these products to be able to build your case?
You have 10 minutes to look over everything.
10 minutes to read the scenario, look at all the products, read their descriptions, and then decide what you want to rank it as.
So, okay. So now the next thing that we're going to nationals in is what?
It's called the FCS Quiz Bowl, and FCS stands for Family and Consumer Sciences. This is going to take place January 8th through 12th in Denver. So we're getting ready for that financially, as well as it's a totally different contest. So we're having to really change, I guess, the way that we're practicing together.
Right.
And this is new. We've not done the FCS Quiz Bowl before, so I'm not really sure what to expect. We do have a competition, and they've on that team too. It's called the FCS Skillathon, and it's where they have to identify different items as they relate to foods and cooking, interior design and housing, and sewing and clothing. So I feel like the Quiz Bowl that we're going to participate in is going to be similar to that, but not only are they going to have to identify them, but be able to explain what those items are used for.
Okay, we're just about to run out of time. You need money?
We do, yes.
That's what we're here for,
well,
to show off these lovely young people and to ask you for money. How can they help you?
Well, just reach out to me. I work at the UT TSU Extension Office, and if you're interested in sponsoring us monetarily, just give me a call. We're looking to raise. We need probably about $2,000 more for airplane tickets and hotel expenses. So anybody that wants to contribute, we'd love to have it.
Send these 3 lovely young people, these 4
Don't forget
lovely
Kaylee.
young people.
Don't forget Kaylee.
And another one, 5, to Denver to represent Coffee County and us around here. Cut them a check. Come on, you got it. Don't buy as much candy for Christmas. Give it to them. Right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us, and we're proud of all of you for finding something like this to get involved in. You know, I'm so glad to see young people involved with something that doesn't involve their thumbs. I appreciate you
for having us.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, dear. Come back anytime.
I will.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment.
He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching.
That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Good morning, all you wonderful folks in TV land, and thank you, lady cameraman and gentleman cameraman, for putting a good, sharp, clear picture on the screen for our folks and our viewers. You know, that was interesting about the fire department that Shastine brought us, and when I was just a kid, I do remember they delivered that 1937 Dodge fire truck that was a state-of-the-art at the time, and it still got one of the best pumps on it of any fire truck in the whole fleet. And that bell rings, and you know he's coming. And good folks that run it, and we're grateful to all our firemen that stand by. We feel a great degree of safety and security with them around. Now, one of the interesting, I think, parts of the history of our area, a fellow came by not long ago and said, you know who I am? I said, yes. I said, well, did you know that my great-grandfather had the first certificate of registration for a distillery in Tennessee? I said, well, no, I thought Jack Daniel was the oldest registered distillery in the United States. He said, well, it probably is, but my great-grandfather had a still on Rock Creek, and said he was the first one. and he told me his name that I'm not going to share that with you because I've forgotten what his name is. But anyway, he said there were many up and down. I've always heard that there were many stills on Rock Creek, everywhere from just north of Big Spring, the Big Spring at Fraser McEwen Park, all the way down on Rock Creek, below the South Jackson Civic Center. And of course, originally the South Jackson Civic Center is right in the middle of what was the original town square, and a lot of other things that were dotted around Tullahoma. But one of the most important or historic events were all the moonshine stills up and down Rock Creek, and they were very good in their profession and their industry. I don't know how many were registered or which ones were legal or illegal, but I suppose they called them moonshiners because they did it mostly at night, did their thing. I remember back in the early 60s or 70s when Dan Daniel was sheriff and I was stringing for Channel 4 and Channel 5, Sheriff Daniel came by one day and said, "Bring your camera and go with me." I said, "What's going on?" He said, "We just raided a still out in the deep woods beyond Ledford's Mill, and we want the people in the state to know that we're working on taking care of such situation." They had already raided it, but they were going to reenact the raid, and it was so funny. They drove up and they had the two moonshiners cuffed around a big oak tree near their still, and it was in the middle of the summer, and they were about to burn up beside the bugs all over them. But drove up, and the sheriff knocked on the door at the house, and he'd already told the lady what to do, and she ran out on the back porch and said, "Hide the worm, hide the worm. The revenuers are here." And the still was about 50 or 60 yards behind the house, and they had it all set up, and we went down there and we filmed it, and the two moonshiners that were handcuffed together around the big tree said, Sheriff Dan says, "Take us on to jail. It'd be a lot more comfortable there than it will be down here in this holler around this tree." And they had already set their charges, and sure enough, they moved everybody to safety, and they blew up the still, which was, and had 3 or 4 automobile radiators that did their thing in making whiskey, however it's made, and a lot of empty Coca-Cola syrup gallon jugs that they put it in, and it was just clear. But there were a lot of them up and down the creek there for many years, and they again, I guess they call them moonshiners because they did it at night, And I remember one time when I was a little boy, my father and grandfather were grocers, and my daddy asked me one night, he said, "You like to go up and hold up the store and hold the back door open for us? We got to load some things." And I went back up with him, and they'd just gotten a whole freight car load of sugar. And we went up there, and there were about 10 or 12 wagons with a team of mules pulling them, and had tarpaulins, and they loaded all that sugar on those wagons at night. And I asked my dad, I said, "Man, what are they going to do with all that sugar?" "Jelly, son. They're making jelly." And I didn't know till I was grown that they were taking it out to their stills to make booze with. But it too is an interesting part and part of Tullahoma history. And we hope that you enjoyed this part of history, and we're always glad to share what we can with you. And remember, this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come, and we hope all you fine folks in TV land have a good day.
Get your news news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome. I'm so excited today to have with me on the set from Manchester Millennium Theater. I have Joel Longstreet right here beside me and Miss Samantha Waters, who is doing the lead in My Fair Lady. I'm so excited you got that part.
I am too. It's one of my dream roles. So.
It's one of my dream plays. Honestly, I think it's one of the most beautiful plays. There's so much in it. So, when's it coming off?
This weekend it opens Friday, November 15th. Runs both that weekend and the next weekend. Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30. Sundays at 2.
Sundays at 2. And I would get my ticket. I already have my ticket, but if I were you out there, I'd call one of those numbers or go online and get my tickets right now, because the theater is fairly small as far as seating. 150 maybe.
180.
180, and not a bad seat in the house, honestly.
It's a very comfortable theater.
That's the beauty of that theater. There's not a bad seat in the house. I know we have some film, and I don't want to, lose the time and not get to show it. So if you all would start the film in the back, we'll.
Why can't English speakers know how to speak this verbal transformation? Find out reality. It's useful, get she. Solving the crime for men of the letter in the bus. Little bit, a lot, very little bit, a lot. See the but have no point of. Well,
do you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's here on the street where you danced.
Looks like a really good play.
That does look
Not
like a good
biased
play.
at all.
Oh, it's fabulous. A lot of things stuck into this one little short clip, and I do love the music. There's some beautiful music. Cockney.
Yes.
Tell me a little. Have you got any speech you can do in Cockney for me?
I ain't done nothing wrong by speaking to the gentleman. I've a right to sell flowers if I keep off the curb. I'm a respectable girl, so help me. I never spoke to him except to ask him to buy a flower over me.
There. Who's hurting you, silly girl? What do you take me for?
I never said a word.
Shut up. Do I look like a policeman?
I love this. And you're Henry Eggins,
I'm
right?
Henry Eggins.
Henry
Eggins.
Henry Eggins, that's what she calls it.
Yes.
What's your favorite part about the play, Samantha?
I love the cast. It has such a broad cast of folks who have done theater for a long time. So we have Robert Hires, we have Karen Lewis, we have Nick Mullins. We have so many people. Frank Wonder, when you see them on stage, you're going to recognize them from other productions.
Yeah.
And there's so much talent that we can depend on each other. If we drop a line or something, they're right there to pick us up. They've done this a long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
you're
I
just
believe
gonna
you mean if
love
I
it.
drop a line.
No.
You wouldn't dare drop a line.
He might throw it, but he won't drop it.
There's a lot of dialogue in this show. That's the most I've ever done. So
I do have this little poster. I don't know if you can see it very well or not, but
Beautiful.
I think the costuming is superior from what I've seen. But the little bits and pieces I've seen on TV. Have you done your own costuming?
We were in charge of doing a lot of it. Thankfully, our director, Miss April Smith Glosson, she picked out a lot of the costumes, and then I filled in with the rest, my mom and I. But it's Edwardian time period, so Titanic time period, early 1900s, and the hats are just amazing.
Hats were big.
Yes.
I noticed
Oh, yes, they are.
the beautiful hats and costume in there, and so it's just a wonderful play, and I think the price is fabulous. What, $15?
15 for adults, 13 seniors and military, $10 for students. Any student. I don't care where you're going to school.
Oh, okay.
Or
Student of anything,
Sure.
maybe?
Whatever
of life.
age, you are a
Yeah.
student. You get the
But
discount.
It is important to get your tickets early, and that you're opening Friday night. So, is it ready? Tell me about the orchestra. You know, I love the orchestra. Are you doing a track, or do you have an
We
orchestra?
are doing a track. We don't have a live orchestra.
Okay. Well, that doesn't bother me anymore. The tracks have gotten so good.
They are. They really are.
There used to be a time when there'd be little glitches once in a while, but I don't see
Mhm.
those anymore, and it makes it so much easier in a small theater.
Right, and we have
It
a great
really-
tech crew that's doing our lights and
Yeah.
our sound and all.
And who is your tech crew? Sometimes they don't. Oh, you may not know, but it's okay.
Oh, we do. I know.
Oh, you know. Okay.
Well, our stage manager, Pia Bush, lights is Landon Spangler, and his wife Rachel is doing the microphones, and Jill Abed is on sound upstairs and sound effects. Am I missing anybody? What other crew? Well,
Pia's daughter
Pia-
is also helping.
Well, I just think often
backstage.
that a
Mhm.
crew
Yeah, sure
that
they
is
do.
in the back gets not enough recognition, and it so
Mhm.
much depends on what they're doing.
Correct.
Absolutely. And how about choreography?
Well, that's Danelle Afflebaugh from Duck River Dance.
She does
She's
a
been
great job.
choreographing a lot of our shows over the last couple of years, and this is not as spectacular as a dance show like Singing in the Rain, but it's still a lot of fun.
A lot
Right,
of-
there's
a lot of fun
traditional
movement,
dances, as she
yeah.
refers to
A lot,
them.
a lot of
Yes.
fun movement, and I'm anxious to see it and see what you do with it, Samantha. I've seen other people do it. I haven't actually seen it for 20 years when we did it over here.
Okay.
And so I don't know if somebody else has done it in the area or not, but I'm glad to see it renewed and with a new cast and new movements. I think each director puts their own twist on a play, and often you think you've seen it before, and then all of a sudden you see all this new stuff.
Well, I hope you do a good enough job that you're talking about this one in 20 years.
Yes.
I will do that, and in 20 years, I'm afraid we'll have moved on to some other place. Is there anything that you'd like to add to what we've said? Do you want to do any more dialogue?
I think mainly we're taking a classic and we're definitely putting our own spin on it. But there's so much emotion involved in this play. You will laugh, you will cry, and I know I've said that with other productions as well. But this is
It's
just
true.
such a timeless piece that I think people will relate to it in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think come prepared to be moved, because I really think you will be.
I think so. And I think that it takes special actors and actresses to put that kind of emotion into a production. Sometimes people just spew out words without having the emotion that's involved.
Right.
Is there, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's not. These characters aren't cardboard characters.
They're
That they
like real people.
hang songs on. I mean, Henry and Eliza have some real issues with each other.
Yes, they do.
And you with your father, played by Robert Hires.
Correct.
Who is hilarious.
Well,
Robert
it's a
is hilarious.
fabulous cast, and it's a wonderful play, and I encourage you to get your tickets right now and go see My Fair Lady. Opens Friday and goes through 2 weekends. Well, guys, thanks for coming.
Thanks, Peggy.
Thank you for having us.
Love you. Hope.
Love you
I
too.
know it's going to go well. We'll be back with more.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford F-150 as low as $34,739. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Monday at the program at South Jackson Civic Center for our veterans. The wonderful Lloyd Smith generally sings, and we have the privilege of showing his singing right now.
Clayton has been Tullahoma's family shoe store for over 100 years with a reputation for fashion and personal service. And the tradition continues today. Stop by Clayton and see our large selection of fine shoes.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello, I'm John Rickman, and this is
Pat Welch, and we're bringing you the 16th edition of the Conversations with John and Pat, and it's been a pleasure, John. What have we got today?
Well, we got a song about a lady who used to preach over the city, through the city, in her car. She had a microphone and speakers mounted on her car. Her name was Sister Jessie Lee, and this is a song about...
speakers and volume, depending on how bad you need to repent.
Exactly.
You might turn that thing up a little bit louder.
My troubled life had hit rock bottom, sin had scarred my soul. Though I wanted to do right, I couldn't gain control. At every corner stood old Satan teasing, tempting me. Then I met my Savior and Sister Jessie Lee. Through the streets of the city, Sister Jessie would ride, shouting praise God, hallelujah. All day long she cried. Turn from your wicked ways, repent, Jesus will set you free. I never will forget the words of Sister Jessie Lee. With speakers mounted on her car, she spread the gospel word. With her microphone turned up on high, even non-believers heard. Jesus is coming back again to take his children home. With faith and holy water, he'll claim you for his own. Dressed in a long and flowing gown that only saints would wear. The years showed in her old brown face and in her snow white hair. She's gone from us, yet she still lives within my memory. Thanks God for sending your sweet love and Sister Jessie Lee. Through the streets of the city, Sister Jessie would ride, shouting praise God, hallelujah. All day long she cried. Turn from your wicked ways, repent, Jesus will set you free. I never will forget the words of Sister Jessie Lee.
Wasn't that wonderful?
That's a dear song and a dear lady.
Right. And did you mention Mr. Berry?
John Berry, who passed away some number of years ago, he wanted those words and he liked the message.
I believe, John, it was the preacher at the Church of Christ on South Jackson for many years, and he was a county commissioner, and he was a good man.
Good man.
Yeah. Well, John, that could take us into another, might bring up another story about an African American that was awfully important to Tullahoma before even Sister Jessie. And that was John Wesley Work. And I somehow got interested in this about a decade ago, and Miss Peggy Northcutt, who's got a lot of historical facts of the South Side or the African American area and town, and also she's historian of Davidson Academy, the black school that would have started in the early 1900s, and she really kind of encouraged me to keep looking, and I had a really good time visiting with her. But John Wesley Work was educated at Harvard, and if we got that is the picture of the third right there, and Junior, who is I'm talking about right now, he's born in I believe 1870s, and was educated at Harvard, and came to Tennessee being connected, and I think was in charge of the Fisk Jubilee Singers, who were internationally known. And he at some point when he first got out of Harvard, before he went to Fisk, he came to Tullahoma to teach at the school for black children, and would have had, at that time, a son was born. Now Philip, put that picture back up there. This is Junior's son, who was John Wesley Work III. And he also, they went back, of course, I said he worked at Fisk in the Jubilee Singers, and John III was educated at Fisk, and then he did some work in, I believe, at Yale and Columbia. I believe he had some extra graduate work, but both of them were astute academic students, probably on a little higher level than you and I, John. But sad to say that we were not as great as we should have been, probably at times. Yeah, but the song, the Christmas Carol, "Go Tell It on the Mountain," some people think that John Jr. wrote that song, and there's a real good chance that while he was living in Tullahoma when John III was born, that he wrote it in Tullahoma. Now that's, when you look it up, you can see there's a whole lot of people that dispute that, or nobody really knows for sure, but that's at least
After you told me about this, I did look on the internet, and it gives him credit.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important thing, that you're given the credit.
And I checked my church hymnal Sunday, and it was John
I'd say
W.
that's accurate.
Work. Now, for sure, part of the Third's work while he was at Fisk, he went ahead and was the first to arrange and compose and write that song, and he came out with the first, I believe, book of old African American spiritual and hymns, and so at the very least, Tullahoma gets credit for being the birthplace of the Third and employer of Junior, and there's a real good, like I say, that chance that the song was written in Tullahoma, but for sure it was arranged and composed and printed and published by a gentleman that was born in Tullahoma.
You know, we had a little conversation not long ago about people who've made musicians, who are good musicians. And one, J.T. Northcutt, good friend of ours. And then, of course, Mike Haynes, who played in Max Weaver's band here. It went on to be a studio musician in Nashville. He was a student over at East years ago. I go back to my Chapel Hill days, and of course, our great hero is Grady Martin, who played all the little Spanish picking in El Paso and Pretty Woman and all that sort of thing. He was a great
Maybe
musician.
not going back as far, John, but a graduate of the 72 class, which is my class, was Billy Earhart. And he played with Amazing Rhythm Aces, which is a nationally known band at the time. And also, I think now he still works with Hank Williams Jr. as a keyboard musician. Yeah,
well, that's great. Yeah. It's good talking about the people of Tullahoma and one person there in Chapel Hill that we mentioned. But
Snuck him in.
Snuck him in.
That's right.
But that's it for this time, Pat.
Well, John, that does it for the 16th edition, but it's not the end of our conversations. There's more to be told. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. with John and Pat.